being three persons. We as people are created to be in community with one another, just as God is in community with himself. One being, three persons, one community. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I am admitting that I am lacking in my ability to explain and debate with you how God is somehow one being, three persons. I am still standing firm on the fact that I believe that, and I will not really be swayed by it.
It's not your lack of explanatory power or explanation, presumably, on this concept. It's the concept itself. It's something that you cannot logically, coherently believe, of course you believe without. You cannot be coherent in this belief system. I'll tell you why. Because if you weren't a Christian, okay,
so
if you weren't,
may I respond to that statement? May I respond real quick to that statement? Just get something on record, because I know you're taking record. I'm okay with that. The reason why it's incoherent and unable to be explained is because it's not a human concept. It's far, far, far beyond what humans can conceive. You would agree that we are limited in our mind, in our ability to understand. We are inherently created limited. So why when we're talking about a being that is supernatural, so far beyond what we can ever hope to understand or be? How you doing? Sorry, I talked to him earlier this week. Why would we be able to somehow explain logically and with our words something that is so far beyond us? Like, I'm understanding your issue with it. I'm saying that it's not supposed to be able to be easily communicated with our words.
What I would like to say is this is something fundamental for our understanding of God.
Right,
fundamental.
Right, and I'm agreeing with you.
God did not create us here and leave us alone without any guidance.
Of course not.
He communicated with us. One of the essential part of communication is that the one who communicates and the one who receives communication, and what's communicated, these three steps we need to understand firstly. If I want to communicate to you something, কেমন আছো ভাই ভালো? আপনার বাড়ি কোথায়? বুঝতে পারেন না আমি কি বলছি? ঠিক আছে আমি আপনাকে Have I made myself clear?
No.
Right. So, if I want to communicate to you something, I have to make sure my communication is understood by you, the recipient.
Yes.
Right.
And I communicated, and I failed in communicating to you because you did not understand the communication.
Right.
When God communicates to us,
Okay.
you expect his communication to be understood.
That's right.
He's not going to communicate to us in a way that we misunderstand or understand anything. If the nature of God was like this Trinity, which you cannot understand whatsoever, why would God even communicate something that would be not understood by anyone? So, like for example, if you would not understand my communication, it will be unfair and unwise of me to communicate to you in a language that you would never understand, for example, right? So I would even stop from communicating to you in the very beginning, because you would never understand this. If Trinity was a concept that is not understandable, it's incoherent, it's illogical, right? That's what the position of the church is throughout the centuries. It is a mystery. The word mystery is used to say you cannot explain it by logic or rationality. Right. If this was the case, God shouldn't have even communicated about himself that he's a Trinitarian being. Why? Because it will be never understood. There are many things about God. Can I finish, my friend? Right. I will let you respond as time as you want. There are many things about this absolute God that we could not understand unless he reveals it to us in a way that we can understand it, right? And do you really think God has explained to us about his absolute nature, all of it to us? We as infinite beings, we won't be able to fully understand comprehensively. It goes by logic itself. The finite and the infinite, how can the finite grasp the infinite in its entirety? It's impossible.
Right.
So, if God is absolute, He is not going to tell you something and waste this communication when you can't even understand it. So when you have this concept in your religion that he communicated something but no one understands it, you need to ask yourself, it doesn't make any sense that God would have communicated that he was a Trinitarian being when no one can understand it. It is a failure in communication. That's my first point. My second point is this. It is not that we don't understand it. We do. We clearly understand this. That Father is one God, the Son is one God, and the Holy Spirit is one God. So there's 1, 2, 3 gods. The problem arises when we say, but that's 3 gods, and you don't want to label yourself as a worshipper of 3 gods. You take offense. You say, no, I want to be a monotheist. That's the problem. So you try to say, no, that's not 3 gods, 1 God. If you look at the Athanasian Creed, the creeds of the early Christians,
500 AD.
they tell you clearly, there are not 3 gods, but 1 God. Why did they stipulate that? Because common sense, rationality tells you each one of them is 1 God. 1 God, 1 God, and 1 God. But the next statement that there are not 3 gods, but 1 God is forced onto you. Why? Because you have to believe in by force, with no choice, no rationality, no reasoning whatsoever. That's why the church tells you it's a mystery, because you cannot fathom it through your coherent explanation. You can't even explain it coherently. If you were to only consider the Son of God in Trinitarian Christianity, he has no beginning means what? He exists by himself. He is not dependent on anyone for his existence. That's what it means, having no beginning. If I have no beginning, am I dependent on him for my existence? No. Am I dependent on God for my existence? No, because I exist without a beginning. If this was the case. But of course for me it's not the case. I am fully dependent on God for my existence. If the Son of God has no beginning, he cannot be dependent on the Father or the Holy Spirit or anyone. That makes him independent God. So if the Son is an independent God and exists by himself,